Well, let's bring in Mouin Rabbani again. He's a non-resident fellow at the Center for Conflict and Humanitarian Studies. He joins us live from Montreal. Mouin, thanks for staying with us. So what do you make then of Israel's escalation overnight on Lebanon? Because this is a war in everything but name, isn't it?
Yes, and I think Israel has taken a decision to do everything within its power to crush Hezbollah and remove it as a significant military factor in the Middle East equation. Whether it will succeed in doing so or not remains very much an open question. Hezbollah has been built up over decades, and it would take a massive ground invasion and many years for it to succeed. Just look at what it has failed to achieve in the Gaza Strip during the past year. In addition, I think Israel also has wider ambitions, which go well beyond Lebanon, which is to change the entire strategic equation in the Middle East. Just as Hamas sought to irrevocably shatter the status quo on October 7th of last year, Israel's response has been a campaign to fundamentally reconfigure the Middle East rather than to simply restore the status quo.
And the US administration, Mouin, has repeatedly said it doesn't want to see a wider war, but it doesn't seem to be using its leverage over Israel to stop one. It still supplies Israel with arms and ammunition. This is a fatal contradiction, isn't it?
Very much so. I mean, either the US is completely on board with Israel's agenda, or it has decided that it will do absolutely nothing to obstruct Israel in promoting its agenda. As you noted, it's providing the weapons. I mean, we are speaking here about the US supplied Israeli military. The US supported Israeli genocidal campaign in the Gaza Strip, and now also the US endorsed Israeli attack on Lebanon. The United States and its European allies frame everything that's been happening in the past year, from the genocide in the Gaza Strip to what we've seen in Beirut in the past 24 hours. They frame everything in the context of what they term Israel's right to self-defense. In other words, it's given legitimacy from the get-go, and absolutely no leverage is used to restrain Israel in any way. And there's an organic connection between how Israel conducts itself and the lack of any opposition that it receives from its Western allies and sponsors.
Just a final thought to you then, Mouin. I mean, Israeli leaders talk about escalating to de-escalate, but there's no de-escalation here. I mean, does Israel see this now as the right, opportune time to go after Hezbollah once and for all?
I believe that's very much the case. In other words, that Israel's objective is not only to de-link Lebanon from the Gaza Strip, but to deal a body blow to the self-styled axis of resistance, to seek to separate it from each other, to weaken it, and if Israel has its way, to destroy it with direct U.S. involvement. It's a very tall order. Look again at Israel's failures in the Gaza Strip during the past year. But if Israel is allowed to continue with its rampage, it's going to cost very many more lives than it already has.
Mouin Rabbani, always good to get your thoughts and analysis, Mouin. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.